Oh, hi, Tommy.
You stole it. Oh, hi, Jacob.
Are we just going to quote the entire movie?
What a story.
Oh, look, my favorite customer.
Bye, doggy. All right.
I think everybody knows where this is going.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? How you all doing out there in the world of not in this recording studio room place that we're at here, not where you are?
God, you're a goddamn poet. You know that? You need to write a book.
I've realized my laugh is kind of like, oh, you probably don't remember. Do you remember the old like Hanna-Barbera cartoon of like they're like, there's the guy with like the evil mustache, and then you had the dog that always like would like.
Oh yeah, with the breathy laugh.
Yeah, I feel like my laugh kind of resembles that. Oh, he was the main bad guy in the Scooby-Doo movie because they had Blue Falcon in the most recent animated Scoob. Yeah,
Scoob. Yeah,
that was good. I liked that.
I don't remember watching it.
I was pretty drunk watching it, but I remember watching it.
I remember watching it. I don't remember what happens. Do you hear they're doing a new Scoob? Oh,
we talked. Yeah.
We'll talk about
Oh yeah. Sorry, my laugh is giving me emphysema. Not really. Bad joke? Bad tasteless joke?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
That's kind of all you got.
Hey, all right. So today we got a couple of things on the agenda. We're pretty close to E3 just came out, and we got some responses to that we want to throw out there, stuff that we're excited for.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally is also with the 18th anniversary coming up of it on June. It's already happened, June 27th. I got Tommy to watch and experience The Room.
And for those of you that follow on Instagram, you see that in my post?
No.
I posted the intro.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, like, all right, here we go.
Yep. And we'll be talking about that. Also, I feel like it's kind of like a good like ending to our summer flopbuster stuff. And like, you know, or transition, because it's the biggest like flop of all time. And we'll get into that. Yeah,
we'll get into that. But let's start with some E3 stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about video games.
I'm kind of on the fence about talking about E3 stuff because everybody has, but maybe this is so far enough away.
It's now just like a little like we're the tail end of it.
Yeah.
You know. But I mean, we haven't been able to talk about it yet with everybody. Let everybody know how we're feeling.
Well, I don't even think you and I really talked about it.
We've done a little bit, but yeah, not so much.
Yeah.
Something that I find interesting is a lot of people I'm getting is that this was one of the strangest E3s, and I think that was just because of the Zoom conference idea of it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded really weird. From people.
I don't know, when it comes to like E3, I guess I'm more because I'm never there. I'm not a press person or anything. It's like I just want to see what they're announcing. So the stuff that's been announced, I think is really cool.
Yeah, I think it was more because of like from a writer standpoint.
Yeah.
For a magazine, or whatever. It was kind of a little more limited on who you could actually talk to, as opposed to being there. You could like run into one of the graphics developers, and you just are sitting there having coffee, and then suddenly you hear they're like, oh yeah, like there's lack of personal interaction, and I feel like that would be really weird for something that is so hands on to be so
you can tell
removed. Yeah, it sounded like it would have been really weird because this is like this is a completely different E3 than it has ever happened, because it's an unprecedented time that has not happened.
Yeah, exactly.
For them in a long time. So yeah, but there's some interesting stuff. I mean, all in all, what were you like really like? Fuck yeah!
My biggest excitement is Metroid Dread. Seriously.
Do you want to hear? I'm incredibly excited for that.
Dude. It looks so good.
But I'm excited for a Metroid game. Yeah. I don't think I've ever played a Metroid game.
I mean. Well, you never really had a GameCube, or we did. I mean, well, neither did I. But like, I played the OG Metroids.
On what?
The NES and the Super Nintendo.
Okay, cool.
And like, I never got to play Metroid Prime because I never had a Nintendo Wii or a Nintendo GameCube. But I had friends that had those, and I saw people playing those, and I thought they were really cool, and I always wanted to experience that. And I'm waiting for them to do like remakes of those for the Switch, which would be awesome. And also everybody's been waiting for Prime 4 for a long time, but they're going back to that 2D
it's like 2D, 3D.
2D, 3D, yeah. And which they're taking a lot of inspiration from what they did, like I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago. They remade Metroid 2, which is a Game Boy game, Samus Returns. They remade that for the Nintendo 3DS. And I purchased that last summer, and I think I was talking about it a little bit. I'm not sure if we released if any of those episodes were released or not, though. Oh, probably not.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
But I was really into it because it was like the OG side scroll. Metroidvania is kind of like, you know, like Metroid and Castlevania kind of like started that whole like side scroll type of game. But this one looks really cool because like I was even reading like an interview of like the creator for the Metroid Dread. He had this idea for Dread a long time ago. Like this is like something that he had kept like shelving. Like maybe we could like, but like graphics couldn't like he just something was never really like working for the release on it. And whatnot.
Yeah.
And so he finally is able to release it. And his thing is like he always wanted to have something where Samus actually comes across something that she cannot kill, cannot actually like. You know, it's like like something that she actually has to be running from constantly, which is what the robot is.
And that's where Dread comes into it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So now it's like kind of like it's going to be your 2D side scroller Metroidvania, like killing like the alien parasites, and you'll probably, you know, collect your power ups and all that stuff. But there's going to be moments where you have to actually like the robot's going to come, then you're going to have to run, and there's going to be like camouflage stuff, and you actually have to like find like specific spots to like hide from the robot. Which
this is just a lot of the way it describes it. It felt like it might be a weird comparison, but Alien Isolation, but a 2D platformer.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. Yeah,
that's kind of what it made me think of.
But so,
which I still can't sit through. I get too scared. Xenomorphs are terrifying.
They are terrifying. But like, I'm really excited for it because there hasn't been a new Metroid game since I just looked it up. It was like 2011,
something like that.
Like Metroid 3, Prime 3 on the Wii was the last one, and like so. I mean, it's been about a decade, if not more, for a new Metroid game. So like, I mean, some people might say like the Metroid 2 remake was kind of like a new Metroid game because they added new mechanics and they redid the game for like. Ground. I mean, they took a Game Boy game and made it 3DS.
Yeah, totally.
So, which that one, like, I don't know. I'm really excited because I love the Metroid games because I just love that whole, like, you get to a spot in a level and you're like, why can't I get through this door? And then as you go and like you get to like the next like 3 levels down, you get like a weapon to open that door and you're like, oh, now I can backtrack up to that place and all these new things are going to be open and I can like find more power-ups and I can get a new weapon maybe.
Yeah, that Fallen Order did that. Like suddenly you get a force something and now you can move this boulder and it's like that's a really tried and very used mechanic, but it's still very fun.
You know, yeah, it's because like
the light bulb, like
I can go have this now.
What it is, it's like those old cartoons where you're like, okay, that door's about to open because the animation's different. You're like, I'm gonna remember that because I'm gonna have to come back to that at some point. Okay, cool. Note to self.
Yeah, I mean, so like Metroid is definitely my biggest excitement, and then outside of that, I mean, all of like Nintendo's like big reveals were pretty cool. I mean, I found them enjoy. I mean, Breath of the Wild 2 obviously is going to be awesome, but that's so far out still that I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I've been hearing a couple people. I think it was on the Besties. Was it the Besties? Yeah, I think it was the Besties. They were talking about that. How very possibly they think possibly that Breath of the Wild might be the main title to go along with the Switch Pro.
Oh, Breath of the Wild 2?
Yeah.
I could see that. Oh, wait, that's Switch Pro's not coming out till next year?
I mean, it wasn't announced exactly. They didn't really talk
about it. Oh, that's they didn't even bring out the Switch Pro.
Yeah, and everyone was like, that's weird. But with the teaser trailer, they're thinking, maybe they'll combine them.
Yeah.
And also because they were saying the graphics are just different enough. There's a lot more like hair movement and clothing and the water looks different.
Yeah, it's a little bit more
polished.
Precise.
Precise, there you go. So they were thinking, maybe that's with the technology that will be in the Pro.
And I think it's going to be, I mean, I'm really interested to see what the storyline unfolds because with this little teaser trailer that they have, they definitely reveal that the world of Hyrule is going to kind of like break apart and there's going to be like floating continents and floating areas and like how you're like, it's just going to be like, I think pretty much like Hyrule's going to, Ganon or whatever is going to like shatter the world and then you're going to have to find ways to piece it back together.
Mm-hmm. I really want them to go into a way, and I don't know if they'll ever do this. Maybe they will, but like I would like an entire era where you play as the bad guy.
Play as Ganon?
Yeah.
Or just
like
a
in
bad
general.
guy?
Yeah, like just you play as the bad, like, the Castlevania where you played as Dracula.
Oh, yeah.
Shit like that would be fun. Predator where you play as the Predator, like more of the...
I mean, Ganon's just so OP, but I guess, like, going through and, like, finding... I don't know, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I have to wrap my head around that and kind of think how it could formulate, you know what I mean?
I don't want to get into it now, but remind me to discuss it with you later. I think I figured out how you could make a Superman game.
What?
Yeah. We always talked about the OP thing. It's like, nothing can kill him, so what's going to be the threat, I think I figured it out, but that's a whole... That could spiral out into a very long conversation.
I mean, how did you feel about this year's E3? What were you excited for?
I was excited about the weirdest things. I was very excited about Metroid, which I was very surprised about. And
because it just looks great, too.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't care until I saw the gameplay, and I went, oh, I could get into this.
Yeah.
I was very excited for... the Ubisoft's Avatar game. I'm stoked about that, weirdly, because it's... Who was it?
Also, just really quick, like, I'm not... Like, there's a lot of things that were released at E3 or announced, like, from Ubisoft's Xbox and Bethesda. Bethesda kind of upsets me, but because I don't plan on getting an Xbox. I'm not really an Xbox person, so I was kind of like meh on some of that stuff. So just to like put that out there. Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna get.
Oh yeah, you're gonna.
I'm gonna go. I love Xbox. Also, just like that they're coming back with a vengeance with their titles.
Yeah.
After all their new acquisitions,
they're shoving it up PlayStation's butt.
I think Avatar would be cool. I think that's just a good world for a RPG open world game. It's just that would be a really fun one to explore.
Are you gonna? Do you know? Like, was there much of like? Because I didn't really watch of it. Are you gonna like be able to create your own avatar? Or are you playing as a specific avatar character?
I don't know yet.
Okay, because that looks like
I just watched this is like a full trailer. I just watched like a fun little like compilation teaser trailer. I'm not really sure about
Frontiers of Pandora. Wait, the planet's called Pandora. Why is it called Avatar?
Because it's the Avatar franchise.
Yeah, but why is it Avatar? If the planet's called, why are they avatars? They're from Pandora, so like, I've never watched Avatar. You know this, right?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird to me. You never have?
No.
Oh, you gotta watch it.
It doesn't interest me.
It's Pocahontas in space.
Exactly. I don't need. I watch Pocahontas.
I think you should need to watch it for a visual. But I'm excited for that. I'm kind of really liking this weird. We got like 3 coming out of those like 4-player Left 4 Dead style games.
Well, one of them is the Back 4 Dead.
Back for Blood.
Back for Blood. Thank you.
Back for Blood. There's this other one called Redfall, which is like a vampire one.
Interesting.
And then there's another one coming out this year that's an Evil Dead one.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. I'm not really into these kind of games, but I'm really stoked about them.
The Evil Dead one is a lot more of like there's going to be the monster and the 4 players, like kind of Friday the 13th or
Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight. There's another one that Titan. No. I can't remember, but it came out on the PlayStation 3.
Are you talking about Prototype?
No, maybe.
That was
maybe it was Prototype. But you play like a giant monster.
Prototype, yeah.
That's Prototype, okay. Which those games I'm not really into, but like Back 4 Blood, like the Left 4 Dead stuff.
Yeah.
That shit's fun as fuck.
Yeah.
Because like it's you and maybe 3 other people, and it's just you're all fighting a horde of zombies.
Yeah.
Well,
that's definitely on my list of one of the first ones to get. And then
that could be an Xbox exclusive.
What, Back 4 Blood?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I just got sad for a second. If that's true. Anywho.
And then I think the last one is the Pirates of the Caribbean Sea of Thieves crossover.
Oh, is that what that was? Yeah. I just saw Sea of Thieves, and I immediately thought he was like, "Oh, Tommy's going to be interested in that."
For anyone out there that plays Sea of Thieves, hit me up. I'm looking for people to play with.
He really wants to play.
I want a solid crew of people that I can like plan to play with because I don't know anyone that. I always play by myself, and it's not fun by yourself.
You've gotten really good at running that boat by yourself.
Yeah,
though.
I got really good. I mean, one friend, but I haven't seen him online in like 2 years, so I don't know where he went.
Maybe you were his only friend as well.
Maybe.
Just like, I don't care about this.
If you're out there, Freddie, I'm waiting for you.
I'm stranded.
He left me.
I know. He left you on an island. Like, damn, he marooned you.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like, Jack Sparrow's going to be in it. It's going to be this whole new story plot line that somehow crosses into Pirates of the Caribbean lore. I'm so stoked about that. That sounds awesome.
That sounds pretty cool, actually.
That sounds cool, right?
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
So yeah, and I think I heard someone saying that obviously it's not Johnny Depp doing the voice. It's the guy that did Johnny Depp's captain from Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
So like,
it took you a second. I was
I was like, I couldn't remember what the game was. Who apparently does like a really good, a good Captain Jack Sparrow. But I think that was kind of it off the top of my head. Outer Worlds 2 was announced.
I mean, everything that I've read about that, it seems like it's going to be a really big upgrade from what the first one was.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing too. Because
the first one was kind of like a womp womp.
Did you ever play it?
I didn't get to it. No,
I tried.
I think I have it. I think I got it for free on the PlayStation Network. Apparently, you can like beat the game and like the first couple of choices, you can like get to the end boss and just like fucking kill him or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can like that game like yeah, because it's super choice based, like even more so than what they did with Fallout.
And then Rainbow Six Extraction.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that it's like Rainbow Six getting into like a, I guess like a COD, Call of Duty zombie thing, but it's like with aliens and I don't know. I've also really liked Rainbow Six franchise it was formerly known as Rainbow Six Quarantine. Yes, that's what I didn't know that they changed the name, but I remember the teaser trailer from when it first was announced, and I was like, I'm really into that because I really always liked Rainbow Six's first-person shooter mechanics. Yeah, way more than I liked COD, which I know a lot of people are like, yeah, whatever. But I always liked Rainbow Six, so I would definitely get into that Rainbow Six with alien mutant creatures. Yeah. Sure, yeah, let's do it. It sounds great. What's interesting, there's not a lot that was really. I mean, Rainbow Six, like that's going to be cross-platform, isn't it? Rainbow Six. I would be this list is like all over the place, so that you have up here, which is fine. I would be very surprised because I'm trying to think of like what was like it's like PlayStation, like Sony's release, but their announcement was other than like Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, which I'm super not excited for. I'm sorry, but I'm not because of Avengers. I'm not excited for it. Yeah, and I kind of want to. I want to if I can get like a trailer, a demo of it. I would give it a try. But I mean, the thing that kind of like one thing, well, you and I kind of talked about this is like one thing that you think is kind of like a bonus is that you're only going to play as Star-Lord, as Quill, as opposed to like switching between people because that became kind of like a confusing thing in Avengers. I think that became a shortcoming of mechanics. Yeah. Yeah. You didn't focus your team on one character and what they can do. You stretched them and did a bunch of characters. Yeah. And so it kind of felt lackluster. But it does, I mean, with them sticking with just as Quill, the storyline, I mean, the gameplay looks awesome. Like, it looks vibrant. Yeah. Which is very fitting for that world, which looks cool. Like, it looks cool, but I don't know if it's going to be like a Deadpool kind of just basic shoot 'em up, like nothing. I don't know if it's going to be interesting. I feel like it's going to kind of play in more like an Uncharted feel. Now that would be cool. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting. And if it's kind of like that, I'm definitely down to get it. That'd be cool. Like it's like Uncharted in space. Yeah, I could get down with that. And that fits really well, especially with those two. Quill. Yeah, with his character. That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be really cool. So I mean, since I think it's being developed by Squeenix, right? Yeah. I've just so commonly said Squeenix my entire life. You just say Squeenix. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I need a Squeenix. It would definitely probably go more in the realm of the Tomb Raider reboot series, like that, which is similar to Uncharted as well. But but from the gameplay, it looks like old school, like almost like Ratchet and Clank of just so like the new Ratchet and Clank. There's just so many enemies. Good. Yeah. Just bombard them as fast as possible with as much as possible. When you have like the entire team with you, because they're going to be also taking out enemies as well. Well, that's a thing too. You got to think about how's the AI on them. I mean, there might actually be like command controls for them, or you as you get skill points. The skill points. Like hit R, you hit like R2 and then like pause menu and like you choose people's commands to do things and whatnot. So it's kind of like you're controlling Quill, but then like still commanding the team. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, that'd be if it's like that, then I'd be down to play it as well. That's definitely something I would check out, like before you buy video, kind of thing. And really, I would look at the gameplay before I wouldn't just jump into that. Yeah, I do that too much, and I'm like, well, play that for 20 minutes, never touch it. And then also again. Watch the right kind of gameplay because I watched the gameplay trailer of Death Stranding, and Lord did I not know it was going to be what it became. I'm totally gonna play that again. I don't know how you're gonna I'm gonna wait. It's gonna be ported onto PlayStation 5. Okay, I'm gonna wait for that. I mean, that's still not gonna take away the boring running around delivering stuff. But it was pretty. It was a pretty game. It had a good amount. Why am I defending this to you? I liked it. You didn't. Whatever.
I feel like, you know, for a game, like when a game is pretty and like if that's all it has to offer, cool, 30 minutes and I'm over it. It's like I want to do the gameplay. I want to play a game. I don't care how pretty the world is.
I think they did exploration pretty well.
Yeah.
Anyways, and we're not talking about Death Stranding. We're talking about E3. I keep wanting to call it EA.
EA?
Yeah.
EA Sports.
EA Sports.
It's in the game.
Thank you. I couldn't remember what that was. Couldn't remember what they're. This Far Cry 7. I was like, the new Far Cry. I was kind of like whatever about. Oh, what is that? What is that? From like that. It's kind of like from software kind of game. What is that called again?
What?
From software. From Dark Souls.
Oh.
What is that called?
I don't remember.
Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah.
Were you interested in that at all?
I mean, their trailer, which obviously was a gameplay trailer, that looked really cool.
Yeah.
But I'm still like I guess like that's definitely, I don't know, like those styles of games are kind of like I get into them for a little bit and then it just gets to a point where like they're too difficult for me. And because like those games, they don't have like an easy hard, an easy medium or hard. It's just
hard, it's hardcore.
The
whole time.
It's brutal the entire time.
Yeah.
Brutal. Like Sekiro, I only got maybe like an 1/8 through the game.
I don't even get past the tutorial.
Like I got to like the Raging Bull. That's like in like a weird like literally giant. You're fighting a giant bull, and I couldn't get past that, and I was just kind of like over it at that point.
Yeah,
you know, it's like because there was also like two other side bosses, like two other like side bosses that I could be trying to fight, and like I was just like they're so like. It's just too fucking hard. But I have friends that are like really like good, like Dark Souls and like Bloodborne, like players, and like they're really good at that type of stuff, and they have fun with it, and that's fine. But like, you know, I'll sit there and I'll play a game like Final Fantasy VII, and like I'll fucking own the shit out of that they can't figure out. So you know, it's, you know, for each their own. You know.
Yeah. Was there anything that you wanted to have announced that didn't really get the time? Didn't get the time because there's nothing to show for it yet.
No. I mean, not really. I mean, I guess like I was hoping for maybe some more Zelda stuff in a weird way. Like not just Breath of the Wild. Like I don't know. I kind of want them to do like what they did with Link's Awakening. I kind of want them to do a remake of that for like Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages. Which was another like it was a Game Boy Color Zelda game, and to complete the story you had to get both games or have a friend that owned the other game, because you would finish the storyline in one, and then you could then like it was also like big input like with like the Game Boy port stuff when you had the cable to like have that's how you like trade your Pokemon and stuff. So like you would connect your Zelda cartridges together through another Game Boy, and then import your file. You import your file into the other cartridge, and then you would start the next story pretty much. But with like you would get all of your rings from the other game. It would have like in the second version that you're playing it, then you could actually level up your Master Sword to like a level 4 sword and whatnot. Like it, but then you got the complete story as well because it started. Yeah. I mean, I played it on the originals on the 3DS. I just bought them like the $3 versions on the 3DS Nintendo store, and you're able to like just kind of put in passcodes and like swap back and forth between them, which was fun. But I would love to see a remake of those. Yeah, like in the style of the Link's Awakening DX.
Which Zelda remake. Is it with the creepy face in the sky, the moon?
Majora's Mask.
That's Majora's Mask.
Yeah, which they did a 3D remake for the 3DS as well, actually. Like what they did with Ocarina. They did a 3D remake for that as well.
Well, and speaking of Pokemon too, that new Pokemon game coming out looks cool.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. I just realized today that Pokemon Snap already came out and went away. Like it came and gone out of my mind. I was like, oh damn. Okay.
Yeah, I really want. I would love to play that, but I'm not going to spend $60 on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably wait for it to go down in price and get it.
It's Nintendo. We'll be waiting a minute.
Yeah, I know. A sale.
Or
you know,
a sale. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know, and then get it, and then actually, I think that'd be a fun one for us to just sit down and have fun playing together.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I think Fowl would really enjoy it too, trying to find all the Pokemon.
I think so. Maybe. Maybe. And for those of you who don't know, there's this new Pokemon game coming out, and it takes place. I don't know how the time. Actually, I don't know how the years work.
It's actually it's supposed to be like
it's like a prequel.
Yeah, it's like before Red.
Yeah, and you're going around and you're making the very first written Pokédex.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really cool, interesting story idea,
and it's cool. Like it really changes the mechanics in a really interesting way, where you actually have to sneak up to the Pokemon and throw your ball if you want to. Mm-hmm. There's not like that automatic you have to fight the trainers thing.
Yeah.
So it's like it seems more of like it's like a exploration and documentation game, not. But it's gonna be game.
But it's gonna be like the new Pokemon in the series. Like,
yeah.
Like, oh, is it going to be like a X and Y? You know what I mean?
Oh, like there's going to be two versions.
Yeah, is it going to be short and see? Is it going to be like
I don't know,
before and after? Or I don't know. I'm trying to think like what they like. It's Sword and Shield. That was kind of a fun thing. Like I don't know, wire and speaker. Like I don't know. Electrode and ocean.
Yeah, you lost me. But yeah, it looks interesting. I don't know. It looked. I don't know. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, fair.
That was it.
Well, I mean, a little bit. I was gonna transition into Final Fantasy VII from a comment I had the other little bit ago. So now I'm just gonna talk about Final Fantasy VII because I just finished Final Fantasy VII. And
which I was surprised about. How many hours did you say?
I think it was. 50? I think it was around 50.
Okay.
And what was interesting with it, I just kind of wanted to give you a quick little review, I guess. So, being someone that's played the original a lot, I know the story of it very, very well. So it was really interesting and refreshing as like a fan of like the old one to like kind of have like new story elements introduced into this whole like Shinra story of the Final Fantasy VII thing. But everybody that's played it already knows that it ends with you leaving Shinra and then going to like then explore the world to look at to try to find Sephiroth and save the planet from the meteor or from Reunion. But so it makes sense, like if this is part 1, that was only literally like a third of the first disc of a 3-disc game on the PlayStation.
Jeez.
So how many parts are they going to fucking make this game? Is it going to be part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5? Because like, and then also it's like making me wonder like how much of like the later game are they just going to condense? Because they really they expanded this. They expanded pretty much like 6 to 10 hours of gameplay from the first game into like 50 to 60 hours of gameplay.
Yeah.
Including like side missions you can do and like adding the extra hard mode and like things you can unlock and whatnot. So it's like, how much larger is this game going to get? You know, I keep thinking about, and I'm also thinking about like when you leave Shinra, it's like, well, then you like, there's still the main town you go to where you learn the past of Nibelheim and how Cloud's actually memories of Zack, and then they actual first meet Sephiroth in Nibelheim in the backstory, and then you go through Barrett's side story, and then you go like I'm sitting there I'm like, oh my god, there's so much of this game. Like, are they going to do the ultimate weapon and the diamond weapon? Are they going to have the ruby weapon and the emerald weapon is still like hidden bosses? Or are you still going to get a submarine as a way to travel around? Like I'm just sitting like, there's so much more Final Fantasy VII. And I'm like, I'm just blown away that they made 50 to 60 hours out of like 6 hours of the first game.
A fraction of the game.
I'm just like, holy shit.
Damn, that's quite an endeavor to undertake for a video game.
Exactly, dude. So like, I mean, like, yeah. And so I am very upset with the Yuffie integrate thing. Since I got the PlayStation Plus free version, the only way for me to get Yuffie intergrade, or the Final Fantasy VII intergrade with Yuffie, is to pay the $70 for the game.
I heard $70 for the game. What is all those words that you just said?
Final Fantasy VII remake intergrade, they pretty much added like an additional like set of chapters that follows who's a hidden character in the original game, Yuffie. She's a materia hunter. And you don't have to get her. If you run into her while you're like on the main field, like you can like do a certain like choices, like make the right choices, and then she'll join your team as a party member.
Okay.
So they made an entire own like side story with her called Intergrade for the Final Fantasy VII remake. But like a lot of people have been playing it, and it's gotten really good reviews. And after finishing Final Fantasy VII, I was excited to play it. But I don't want to spend $70 on a game that's going to give me like 25 hours of gameplay. And I figured since I had already gotten for free, there'd be like a $20 DLC thing for it. And no, it's like you literally have to purchase Intergrade to play it.
And it's $70.
Yeah.
I see. But you're just hoping for like a little $30 add-on or whatever.
So I'm like, meh. And like I got a little disheartened by that. But I guess like the biggest surprise with Final Fantasy VII was the end boss of that game was a version of Sephiroth, which they actually.
What do you mean a version?
Because it's obviously not the actual Sephiroth, because Sephiroth is the end guy to the entire game.
But do you have like clones and shit, like Advent Children and?
Yeah, that's actually a big part of the story of Final Fantasy VII.
He has clones.
He has followers that he can project his likeness on. And he can like give them powers to make them look like Sephiroth or Genova, what have you, and whatnot. Final Fantasy VII's got a very complicated storyline.
Real, man. Jeez.
But it's like, I don't know, it was a very interesting ending to the game. I enjoyed it. It made me realize how I got really adept with like controlling the characters. So like you can choose between like classic, normal, and easy mode. And like easy and normal, you're actually controlling the character and like fighting, like attacking, and like choosing your abilities and your spells. And then you can like flip through the characters and control like Tifa and then Barret and then Cloud and like move around and do that. Or you can put it on classic, where all of the characters just automatically move towards the enemies and they attack on their own accord. You can like change the targets of where you want it to go, and then watch your attack gauge just kind of go up, and then choose abilities and spells and whatnot. So you're not actually controlling the character, you're just controlling targets.
Oh, okay.
Which I was like, I played that for a couple of battles, and I was like, I kind of like the control of the character. And I got really good at it to where like, even as I was like, as I was fighting Sephiroth, it's like, I'm like literally like every couple of seconds I'm switching to another character, and I'm like choosing like this ability, this thing. And then if I'm still on that character, like when you hit your abilities, like your menu screen, essentially time slows down, and then you can like switch to like Barrett's like menu and then have him do something, but then switch back out and still be playing as Tifa, or switch to Cloud. Like I got really good at like the switching around with everything.
The managing almost.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
So I do recommend people to play, like to give it a shot. The beginning of it's kind of slow, and I did notice my least favorite part of all of the Final Fantasy VII game took the longest to get through, and that's the Don Corneo scene at Wall Market, where you have to get Cloud to dress up as a girl to break into like this shitty dude's fucking mansion to save Tifa, and it just took forever. It takes forever, so much running back and forth and fetching, and it was just like, ugh, okay. I remember why I hated this part in the original game.
Right on.
Yeah, it's fun and challenging, and then I feel like there's a good replay. Like I am curious to kind of put it on hard mode and like power through it, like skip all the like cutscenes and whatnot, and just like rush through everything. Yeah, and like try it on hard mode.
Cool. Right on. Well.
We're ready for an intermission and then getting into the room.
Yeah. Real quick, though. Been playing Little Nightmares on the Switch. And it's really cool. Suggest everyone check it out if you haven't. I've had Little Nightmares on the PlayStation forever and just couldn't get into it, and I don't know why.
Can you give like a 1 or 2 minute synopsis of what the game's like, or what it is?
Yeah. You ever play Limbo? Kind of like that. It's a creepy
2D side scroller, very much puzzle horror game.
Yeah, puzzle horror game.
Maybe not like scary. Maybe not horror, but
suspenseful.
Yeah,
it's creepy. It's unnerving. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, it's an unnerving game, but it's really pretty. And I don't know, it translates better for me in Switch, in a handheld kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Have something playing in the background.
No, I totally get that.
Kind of,
There's definitely like Zelda, I would always play on the big screen. I hated playing Zelda on like handheld, Breath of the Wild. And then I remember I played a little bit of Pokemon on the big screen.
That was weird.
And it was really weird. I was like, this needs to be in the hand.
Yeah, there's just something. Yeah, and it just worked. I liked it better because it's also like, since it is a puzzle game and you have to figure it out. You'll and it's a kind of one hit die kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
There's no life. You get.
Oh, kind of, yeah, like Limbo and stuff.
Yeah, just like Limbo. So it's like, you'd be trying the same trial 4 times in a row, and it was nice to have a handheld, so you just put it down for a second and be like, okay, I'm going to watch Arrested Development for a minute, because I need to think about, I'm doing something very wrong, and it's probably super simple, but I'm overthinking it, so I need to take a second. But yeah, Little Nightmares on Switch was really fun.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, so we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back, and what a story.
We'll see you guys in a second. We'll be back. We'll be right back. Tommy Wiseau Productions presents with Tommy Wiseau Productions, films, whatever.
What a movie.
So, I've seen the movie. I've seen the room a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how.
I mean, the first time I watched it, it was like I felt like time stopped. It felt like 3 hours. And it was because it was just like, it's such bad narration, narrative wise, you know, it's like such a horrible script, you know? Mm-hmm. And then I watched The Disaster Artist, and then I wanted to rewatch The Room. So then I watched The Room, and then it's almost every single time that I watch Disaster Artist, I kind of want to go back and watch The Room. So like I've seen it a couple of times because of that. And the movie is, if anybody that hasn't seen The Room, let's give a synopsis. Like, let's talk about it, Tommy. Yeah, you actually did a little bit of like, you went into as a review type stuff. So,
so my little synopsis, it was miscommunication. I thought we were doing an actual
review,
which I was doing the research. I was like, this is gonna be fucking hard. So my synopsis was a strange look into the enigma that is Tommy Wiseau, that is part 90s softcore porn and part a health video about drugs and infidelity.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, like an after-school special.
Yeah.
On, I don't do pot. Like, why? It's cool. I don't. Yeah, but yeah.
So The Room, if you don't know, it was released June 27th, 2003. It has a huge weird history to the making of it. I recommend watching The Disaster Artist as a counterpart to it as well, to kind of like understand this movie. Mm-hmm. It's like Tommy Wiseau. It was directed, written, and starring Tommy Wiseau,
who looks like, if you don't know what he looks like he wanted really, really hard to be in like Motley Crue.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Or
long black curly hair, like the belt with the chains, and
so many belts, so many chains.
Yeah,
this is 2000, mind you. Like he's dressing looking like this in like the 2000s.
He's constantly wearing sunglasses. He's just a really strange looking man.
Apparently, this movie he originally wrote it to be a play. And it could never get produced. Nobody wanted to produce it.
Weirdly, I think it could work better as a play.
Oh, because it's in the room, you know. Yeah. Like he wanted to be like the one area, you know.
Yeah.
And then he tried to he wrote a 500-page like novel for it. Mm-hmm. Which I would love to get a hand on that copy and just to read the nonsense of that. And then it eventually turned into a movie. And I just kind of want to say, like, the strangest thing about this movie is that it did get made. Is the best way for me to kind of like say it.
Yeah, and for context, so basically, it is a story about a man named Johnny in this weird
who's played by Tommy.
In this weird love triangle infidelity situation with his fiance and his best friend.
Yeah. It's like, and Tommy in an interview had said that this movie is like his interpretation and it's kind of like his reflection of what he sees as humans, like the human experience in a weird way. It's like, he's a very, very interesting dude.
This movie seemed very personal.
100%. No, it seems like, yeah. And even like Greg Sestero, who plays his best friend Mark in the movie. So Greg Sestero and, I can't remember his name right now. I'll pull it up. But there's two people that wrote the book, The Disaster Artist. It was co-written by Tom Bissell, who was he was a script supervisor. Or he was one of the on the production team for the movie.
And just so you know, too, there's like 23 people in this production team.
Yeah,
that's like it.
Greg Sestero, he said that this movie is definitely partly autobiographical for Tommy Wiseau. But Tommy Wiseau is never even really, he's kind of admitted it, but never admitted that it was semi-autobiographical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like,
it feels personal.
It's like, I feel like you went through some kind of situation like this.
Yeah.
And that's why you're making a movie about it. It's your processing of this situation.
And like I think Adam Scott even said, so at the beginning of The Disaster Artist, Adam Scott kind of talks about how like if you really look at the script or this movie, it's almost like aliens watched humans like human movies, like 100 movies, found like a formula of like a script. It's like if a robot wrote a script.
Yeah.
You know, that whole like thing
about human emotion
human emotion and infidelity or something, and then it was made because this movie in a weird way is a deconstruction of an American drama film.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like even going to like Tennessee Williams, like who's done like A Streetcar Named Desire. You know, it's like the over the top dramatic elements that even Tommy Wiseau himself was like trying to channel, like Marlon Brando and James Dean with his performance with it, which is why he's like so over the top with no groundedness in it as well. Like
just there's no build up to the emotion. He just comes through yelling, and you're like, whoa.
Or when there should be emotion, he's just like,
there's no emotion.
It
is honestly, and it's like I feel weird saying this, but it's like Tommy Wiseau, he comes off like an alien.
Yeah,
he's fucking Edgar from Men in Black. Like he's just like insert laugh here.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is how a human should be responding right
to
now.
this situation. It's like, no, that's
the wrong response.
So unnerving and unnatural of a response to what is happening. So
yeah, this movie, it's and also to like talk about for like why the blockbuster, like not blockbuster, but the flop that it was, is that its opening weekend it only made like $1,900.
Yeah,
and he literally put $6 million of his own money.
Well,
into this.
That ties into the enigma. That's why I think too that this movie has such a cult following, is because the creator of it is just such a bizarre. You can't write a character like this. I mean, he's a written character.
Yeah. It's like, is it the longest like version of performance art in the history of the world? Is he gonna like be on his deathbed and be like, it's been a joke this entire time?
Like, he's gonna die and then suddenly his book is gonna be published and it's gonna go into depth about what this whole thing was.
Oh my fucking god! If that happens, that'd
be an awesome way to end this.
The longest con in the history.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like he
is D.B. Cooper.
he produced this movie that was $6 million. Which when you watch it, you're like,
How is it $6 million?
I've seen Red Shoe Diary episodes that are better than this.
Yes,
going into my 90s softcore porn thing.
Exactly.
But it's like kind of going into Mark Mohan from the Oregon. Oregonian, yeah. I wrote it and I was like, I'm gonna have a hard time pronouncing that. Wiseau's film oozes sincerity, which is then slathered in a thick coating of oblivious narcissism, and sadly serves as an example that not everyone should follow their bliss. It's the emotional earnest that places the room within Susan Strong's famous definition of pure camp. And going into that, the coining of the term, and that's what it is. It is pure campy. But it's
but he didn't mean it to be.
No,
that
yeah,
way.
But that's I like that terminology of it's oozing out of it.
Yeah.
Like it's because I like the terminology of oozing out of it, because if something's oozing, it's not supposed to. A wound is not supposed to ooze.
Yeah,
you know. So it's like no, it's like it's just coming out of the room. The corners of the room is just filtering out with this, and I really like the narcissism part of it, because I was like, yeah, ooh, this is like it's almost like predatory in nature, like the amount of sex scenes, and it's so bizarre. But then going into the whole idea that he made the $6 million movie and no one knows how.
No one knows where the money came from.
No one knows. The only person that knows is Tommy, and whenever he's asked about it, it's this weird leather jackets. Anyways,
I import leather jackets to North Korea.
What do you? What more? Yeah, more. You need to give me more information.
Is the underwear that he's selling in the DVD?
Oh God, we didn't talk about that. Lost my shit. So yeah, Jacob he owns this on DVD.
Yes, I do.
And he lent it to me, and it had that beautiful, chapter selection sheet, which I miss. I don't know why. I think those are funny. But then behind that, I'm like, what the hell is this? And it's a Tommy Wiseau advertisement for Tommy Wiseau underwear.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't know. Because also it's not like underwear is a big theme in the movie. It's like, oh, it'd be funny if we put these together and we actually sell underwear. You know, like there's no rhyme or logic or reason to it. But I just, just so if you guys are curious, you can still buy it. That website is still up and running. It's
still up, yeah. Well, I wonder, but it's still up and running, but I wonder if they're still being, like, they just like make it per, like
it's custom made.
Maybe we should buy
a pair.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know if I want to give Wiseau my credit card information.
That's true too. Yeah, because who knows?
Sketchy.
Like, who knows what he could do with that shit? Maybe that's where the money's coming from.
Maybe.
Hey,
yeah, maybe.
You know, he's just one. I mean, but also even Sestro. Like some people have like kind of like thought that maybe like he's part of like a huge money laundering like scheme somewhere. And even Sestro was like, "There's no way he's part of something like that. There's no way he's like." He would be capable of doing that.
Unless it's like he was the longest con.
Yeah, the longest con. Like fucking, what's his name from, The Usual Suspects?
Oh, Kaiser Sose?
Yeah.
God, I wish we were recording right now. I feel like that face that I just made was great.
Yeah.
He's like,
Kaiser.
What if he's like a Kaiser?
It could be, dude.
It's like he's acting this way so no one will suspect
it's
that
like
he's
they're
actually...
like, how does this money come from? He sees a jacket in the corner. I import jackets.
Like the interview.
And then there's like a Korean person to Korea.
Like the person interviewing him is a Korean person wearing a leather jacket. And he's like, perfect. There we go. That works. We'll make that the thing.
But then Family Guy, what's your name? P. Tier.
Oh yeah.
Griffin.
And then Griffin flies up. Well, that's like going into the money thing is so bizarre too, because even like just an example of like this, he might as well just put it in a fucking bonfire and set it on fire.
Yeah.
He had a billboard for it up for 5 years in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Which was one of the inspirations.
It was more than 5 years, wasn't it?
I read 5 years, maybe. Okay. Maybe I misread, but I read 5 years. But that was one of the inspirations for James Franco getting involved in making disaster artists, because he's like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, a lot of people in Hollywood heard about this like weird enigma of a movie in person, Tommy Wiseau, because like I said, this came out in 2003, and like it slowly gained like a cult following, and like of course people in Hollywood, they're gonna hear, you know, through like producers and like people that worked on that movie, they worked on like other movies, obviously.
Yeah.
And there's like, yeah, there's this weird like movie that someone spent $6 million to make that only made like that made less than 2,000 on its entire theatrical run.
Yeah, and he even like paid a theater to keep it running for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like he just was like, no, this is my baby, and I have the funding to. It's like, okay, I mean, you got the money.
Yeah,
I guess.
There's even like a moment in The Disaster Artist, and I think Greg Sestero kind of brings this up in his book as well. Well, I mean, it's that like people like go to like cash a check to like, you know, get paid and whatnot. And they're like, this thing's like, I think it's the first checks they're cashing, and they're like, this is gonna bounce. There's no fucking way
that he's gonna be actually pay me.
And then they get handed the cash, and they're like, wait, there's actually money in this account, and the teller's like, let me tell you something. This account is a black hole.
Oh, really?
They're like, what?
Well, it's like even like Wiseau had pitched it to Paramount to be like the studio backing it, and generally speaking, a studio takes about 2 weeks to like go through the project, watch the movie, read the screenplay, get all the information, meet up with the board, discuss like, do we want to take this risk of this movie? They rejected it in less than 24 hours.
That doesn't surprise me.
He walked into the office, he put it down, he walked out. They were like, nope.
They probably read the first 2 pages and were like,
the court finds you guilty of making a bad movie, and no.
Apparently, like even like the script itself, I was reading, like it was like twice as long, and there was like lengthy monologues. They were like the script supervisor and people like on set were constantly cutting down what Tommy Wiseau wanted to have in there. And so like he had like long, like, because it was supposed to be a play originally as well. So like, you just like, and even a play, if there's too long monologues, it's just like too fucking much. But it's like, it's so strange that this movie, like he was able to get this movie made, and it found its cult following because of just how estranged it is. And like I said, like the whole robot thing is like, it literally, it goes through every beat that a movie needs to go through to have like a coherent story in a way. Like there's the introduction of the character, the introduction. Why do I keep saying douche?
I don't know.
Introduction of the conflict, and then the conflict. Then there's the conflict of the characters, but then you have all of these subplots that mean nothing to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like the mom sits down. Well, the test results are back. I have the breast cancer's back. Never brought up again.
Mm-mm. Oh, Tommy Wiseau did say that she made a full recovery.
Oh, god damn it!
In an interview, like one of his,
really? In an interview? So like
no, like his weird little. So Tommy Wiseau would have these screen they still happen.
Oh yeah, no. There's like the late night showings where he
and he does Q&A.
It's a touring thing. Yeah,
he does like a Q&A, and apparently someone asked him, and he was like, "Oh no, she's fine.
Yeah,
she made full recovery." Like,
yeah, it's like okay, these characters in your head are like
whatever.
I mean, and then it goes through all of these beats, and it has a conclusion of Tommy.
Weirdly, on the conclusion,
yeah,
never ruined for me. I never knew how that movie ended.
Oh yeah, because should we not say it?
No, I think leave it.
Okay,
yeah, just leave it because it was like
it has a conclusion.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, okay, like. I was just sitting there like, how is this actually going to end? Because I kept pausing and being, how much more time do? Okay, we have 20 minutes.
No, exactly. That's another thing. Is like it's like it's only an hour and 40 something.
Like 43,
yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
but it feels so
like a fucking eternity.
It feels like forever. That's why, like, what I was telling Tommy is like, you have to see this movie, and like I think just miscommunication happened. I was like, this isn't really a movie. It'd be unfair for us to do like an official review episode on this, because this movie isn't really a movie to like kind of review. It's more of an experience, because it's such a weird. It lives in such a like in a vacuum of movie history that it's not reviewable.
Well, it doesn't even show up on Box Office. Like,
exactly,
it doesn't show up on Box Office Mojo.
No.
Like even I went to go do that, and I was like, "Oh, this doesn't even fit."
It exists
in here.
It's like it's a monument in time of history, and like it's like even like there's been like film reviewer or film professors that have called this literally the Citizen Kane of bad movies. It's like it is. I mean, and next to it is like Trolls 2. Like Trolls 2 is another like really bad movie that the director, like there's a history of like Trolls 2 of like the people trying to make that were super serious about the film and made this like crazy bad hot like movie that had again gained its own like camp like underground following because of just how strange it is.
I mean, I don't think this has happened for me in a while. I had no emotion about this movie.
Other than a lot of frustration, probably.
No.
Not even frustration.
It didn't really do. It was like such a, I don't know. I mean, well, we can get to like, okay, for example, what's up with the sex scenes?
How he is clearly like having sex with her belly button somehow. Like he's way too high on her torso.
Well, you know, I don't know if our listeners
sex scenes just come out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if our listeners know this. I don't know if I've talked about it, but the thing that drives me, and Jacob knows,
insane,
fucking insane about movies is unnecessary sex scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I hate them. I think they're stupid. I think it's just an excuse to show some ass and some titties, and it's majority of the time is completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
Take that scene out, nothing. That's all a fucking fourth of this movie. Maybe more.
There's like three sex scenes, isn't there? 3. Because there's one with Tommy and Lisa at the beginning. And
there's 3 actual shot sex scenes.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of implied sex and sexuality between like the friends that just walk into the apartment and go like, everybody's going to be here for a few hours. Let's feed each other chocolate. And this is what people do, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
No, do not come into my apartment and I'm not there. It doesn't mean you have free reign to have sex on my couch. And I have a dog. Be careful with the chocolate.
But it's like Tommy's mind. It's like in a drama movie, you want to show the passion of the characters and like what's more passionate than sex, you know what I mean? Like that's like unlike like it's like following his reasoning.
It's the alien.
Exactly.
It's the alien. It is this really weird like.
It's a deconstruction of a movie.
I'm going to like Galaxy Quest. You know, it's like aliens saw this and went, "Oh, this is real," and then they tried to reenact it.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
so fucking bizarre. But it's like,
that's what I mean. With that, it's like it hits those beats that every movie needs. You know,
yeah.
It's just done in a very strange. It's super subversive without meaning to be.
I think actually I take it back a little. The thing that frustrated me the most is the fucking football. I'm like, can we get this out of this shot?
Nowhere.
Can we not do?
Apparently, that whole like playing like football, that was like Tommy just showed up with a football. Was like, we're just gonna do this for the scene. That scene wasn't even in the script. He just had them just start shooting that because he just wanted that in the movie.
Yeah. All right, let's toss it around the football.
And he's like, we're playing football. They're not playing catch. They're playing football in his mind.
And I was reading too that he had some kind of problem. Like he wanted everything to be English, American English.
Yeah.
He didn't want, like, apparently he like freaked out when they started using like a French term. And he's like, no, like it is football and like and it is this. Like he was like, he didn't want any European or any kind of influence other than American English, and that was like a really big like a trigger for him for some reason,
which is a very strange thing, like because he has some type of accent that is it's not American.
I think it's official. He was born in Poland. He's Polish.
Okay. Like,
because there's this whole big lawsuit where someone like did a documentary. I think it's called like A Fistful of Spoons. Mm-hmm. I missed the spoon painting somehow.
I never understood the spoon thing actually.
So apparently, yeah, like they were furnishing the apartment and they went to a secondhand store and then grabbed a bunch of paintings. One of them was with a spoon. He was like, whatever, and they put it up. And now this is like part of the Inside Midnight joke is
people have spoons.
They have spoons and they throw the spoons at the screen when the spoon shot happens, which I missed. And they take footballs to the screenings and they throw it in the lobbies and whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there was some kind of documentary that came out on it, and they basically were able to figure out that this is where he was born. He tried to sue.
Oh, really?
The company because he thought it was a violation of his privacy. And then a bunch of legal drama, yada, yada, cut to him finally basically admitting, like, yes, I was born in Poland a very long time ago. That's it.
And nobody knows how old this guy is.
I've been living, and then I moved to, like, New Orleans or something. And then he moved to the States. Mm-hmm.
Which New Orleans would make sense, like with his, like, passion for, like, Tennessee Williams. Because, like, you know?
Mm-hmm. Or he just likes Tennessee Williams and then says, "Oh, I lived in New Orleans."
Oh my god!
So like, yeah, so he's definitely European, and I mean, God, he looked fucked up during this entire movie.
Well, he's got like a weird like eye thing. It's like there's a part of me that wonders, like my theory of Tommy Wiseau is that he got into like some strange like traumatic accident that gave him a little bit of brain damage. That he has like probably like a never-ending like fund of like from like a lawsuit, and he just doesn't want to talk about it. And so with that fund now he can just do whatever he wants. He's like a strange entrepreneur on a film for his own pleasure. Mm-hmm. Like that's because like there's something about like the way that he interacts with people. I don't want to say it's like he's just there's something he's not things don't click. Mm-hmm. The same way that I feel like a self-aware person does. He's, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Either that or he's its longest con in long history of the world.
Yeah, I guess that's what something just doesn't seem like it clicks. Because even like even with the scene, and I don't know if it's the editing, but even with the scenes they were doing, even though the emotion didn't match, it felt like there was this delay.
Like he was processing it.
Someone would say something, and then there'd be like a half second of silence, and then he would laugh, and you're like, that's offbeat. Mm-hmm. Like for especially for a scripted scene. Yeah. There's this weird half a second delay, almost like the sound's off. Yeah. From the recording, you know? I don't know. It was really bizarre.
Yeah, like I said, it's an experience. The movie is an experience.
And then that whole party fight scene.
Oh yeah.
Fight, we're cool. I'm gonna kill you. Like,
yeah.
I did like the theme song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. Oh, well, I liked it because I was like, this would fit well in like a fantasy video game.
Yeah, I guess it would.
But with these long stock footage of San Francisco.
That's also all original music, pretty much. Like he paid a composer to make it.
Oh, really? Yeah, I liked it.
Could you imagine being the composer, watching that movie, having to make music to it?
Oh, like sitting there and being like, well, and also, but it was like let me rephrase it too. I really liked that theme music. until about halfway into the movie when I realized that's the only music they're playing.
It's kind of like there's an entire soundtrack to this, and he was handing out free copies of the soundtrack like people would buy a ticket, you would get a free copy of the soundtrack.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I do have a theory that Tommy Wiseau likes the movie The Crow.
Okay. What's interesting? It's interesting you say that because there's Greg Sestero in The Disaster Artist and other people. They've made connections of this movie and things and like similar things to The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Huh. Like what?
Well, one of the main Mark's character is apparently named after Matt Damon because when Tommy Wiseau first heard Matt Damon's name, he misheard it as Mark.
So it was Mark Damon? And
he was like, Greg Sestero was like, you look like that man, Mark Damon. So he named the character Mark for Greg. Huh. And then there's the idea of the trio and the betrayal inside of the talented Mr. Ripley. I don't know. It's there's also a part of me that wonders how much of this movie is autobiographical. I'm getting really this is totally not true, but I was thinking about this earlier. It's is Lisa a metaphor of how he feels that Hollywood betrayed him in a weird way, and that how Greg is getting work, and so if he feels like Greg is cheating.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That's especially watching The Disaster Artist too. That's really how it went down.
Yeah,
that is an interesting idea.
Yeah,
that actually makes sense. This whole, it's not a personal a monologue about an infidelity with a woman.
Yeah,
it's a monologue about the industry that he felt he belonged in, not accepting him
and pushing him away while his friend is
being welcomed with open arms.
That he feels is being welcomed in open arms, regardless of his struggles with it as well.
I kind of feel like you're onto something there,
dude. Which is also weird to think, does he have the mental capacity and awareness to write something like that?
Well, he did.
Well, no, but to be that deep.
Oh, for that to actually be what's happening? But you kind of hit it on the head. That fits almost perfectly.
How he felt it was belonged for him.
Well, especially when you jump into the whole Mark struggle, Greg struggle kind of thing, because they're
super parallel.
Yeah, that is interesting. That's weird. Huh. But I brought up the Crow thing because the sex scene made me think of that, the sex scene in The Crow, which that was basically that sex scene in The Crow before the murder and everything, and he comes back. I forgot about
that sex scene because actually it's not nudity and whatnot.
No, but it is a moment of
showing their love
and passion, and their connection. It is physical, but it's also mental. They are soulmates. It really ties that in. So when when the tragedy happens, you're like, oh no, my heart. That's blah blah blah, and it feels like he was trying to recreate that. Because also there's that
I see the
rock song playing, and there's the candles, and there's the sheets of the bed, and they're all being obscured through the translucentness of it.
And then his butt is just right in the screen.
And the rose petal. It was this really hard attempt to kind of, and especially maybe it was because of his long black hair and everything. I just went,
he looks like a villain.
I'm getting this weird Crow vibe thing from this that is just not translating very well.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally see that. His name is everywhere in this fucking movie. Goddamn, just
directed, writing, starring,
producing.
Yeah,
just it's also weird. This movie came out 18 years ago. This movie's old enough to vote.
It looks older. Don't vote. Don't vote the room.
So what's if you really want to go down the Tommy Wiseau rabbit hole, there's a video of him that was self-shot dressed up as Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah, I think you showed me that. I think you showed that to me when it first was released, and I didn't get it. I was
I don't know what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
Now that there's a lot more context to that.
Yeah.
And then Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero have another movie that they're in.
The Big Shark.
Oh, I didn't know about that one. I was thinking about Frenemies.
Oh, no, there's a new one coming out with both of them that he's directing called The Big Shark.
Oh, my God.
Three firefighters in New Orleans have to stop it's like a Jaws in New Orleans and firefighters. Wow. Yeah, it's a Sharknado sci-fi kind of
that's weird
bullshit sounding thing. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, and it's like I opened up a can of worms for you, didn't I?
Well, because then there's like a TV show that was like 6 episodes called like The Neighbors or something.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like here, let me just pause this 1 second. Just to like look at his like directing credits. There's only a few.
Also, that picture of him on IMDb is
bad.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about? So he has directed The Big Shark, The Neighbors.
What? Where's? Maybe only Greg Sestero was in it then.
Homeless in America, which he did after, which I remember. It's like a documentary he did.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so The Neighbors, that came out in 2016. Oh, go to acting, not directing. He didn't direct the one that I'm talking about. There it is. Best Friends, Volume 2. It's like Friends, Fiends. There's Volume 1 and Volume 2. So that's written by Greg Sestero, and Greg Sestero purposely wrote a role for Tommy Wiseau in it.
So Best Friend, why is it written like that?
Because it's Best Friends, but then like Fiends. So like take out the R.
Oh, I see. When a drifter benefits a quirky mortician, an unlikely business partnership is formed. Paranoia soon develops, however, and both men are forced to come to terms with the
fragility.
Thank you. Glasses. Fragility of friendship and God, I need to make an appointment.
Which honestly, this in a weird way, this could be like Greg Sestero retelling the story of Tommy and Greg's friendship.
Huh.
Like I've been interested in watching this for a while.
How long is it?
It's a 2-parter, so it's like Volume 1 and Volume 2. So
so the first one's 2 hours long.
An hour and 40, yeah, hour 50.
Oh yeah, an hour 50.
And then the second one,
Volume 2. It's an
hour 30. So together, that's 3 hours, like 20 minutes.
Yeah. All right.
That's a lot. That's a lot of Tommy Wiseau. But yeah, those two things, like that and like the Joker thing, like I think are he's such a weird dude.
Yeah, he's a character. He's it's just so weird. He's just a complete enigma. Just funny. We're talking about the Joker and then enigma.
Nice. I mean, so I would I do think you should at some point finish The Disaster Artist, because
I'll get there.
What's really interesting is James Franco won Golden Globe for Best Performance in a movie. He for playing his portrayal of Tommy Wiseau.
I found his acts weird. Like
he leans into a little too hard.
He comes off like he doesn't have an accent. He comes off almost like that he has a hearing problem.
I can see that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't to me sound like Tommy Wiseau.
I see what you're saying.
It didn't sound like an accent. It sounded like he was like hard of hearing.
Interesting.
At least when I watched it. But again, I was like laying on the couch kind of going like, it wasn't super invested in it.
For The Disaster Artist, yeah.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. But it was the voice, but when his mannerisms fit, and like that whole scene when
the way that he just stares.
Yeah. And then that kind of like, he did the tilt head back kind of like,
Yeah.
I was reading that one of the reasons that he looks so messed up during it too is that apparently for like half of the production he had like a really bad cold and was drinking copious amounts of cold medicine, but then to
Tommy was
okay, but then to counteract the sedative properties he was drinking nonstop Red Bull.
Yeah,
so it caused this weird kind of like concoction of just
Jesus. Well, he also for a lot of the movie he had to he had to step away from the directing and let the script supervisor do a lot of the directing because he was too invested in trying to figure out his acting that he couldn't fucking do. And that's actually a thing they cover a lot in The Disaster Artist is how he couldn't remember his lines. He couldn't remember his cues. They would spend what should be 2 pages of filming should take maybe an hour would take all day.
Wow.
He put the filming behind schedule constantly because of freakouts that he would have.
When you can feel it by the end of the movie, you can feel that the crew is just fucking can we just be done?
Yeah.
Let's wrap this shit up. We're over it.
And then but it's interesting though, and I really I hope that this is an honest betrayal from Greg Sestero is the ending of the in The Disaster Artist is how Tommy, he has a moment where he's freaking out because everybody's laughing at his movie. Also, Zac Efron is in Disaster Artist and as a small cameo, and he's fucking brilliant.
Oh, really?
He plays the guy that is the drug dealer.
Oh yeah,
He plays a drug dealer dude. Then like there's a moment where you see like Zac Efron, like his character for it is like taken super serious, like oh, just like Roy, like he's like
he was like the most serious character in that entire movie.
Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. Tommy Wiseau walks out of the filming thinking, because everybody's laughing, and he's like, they're all laughing at me. They're all laughing at me. And Greg Sestero has to calm him down and be like, look, they might be laughing, but they're not laughing at you. Mm-hmm. They're laughing because you're giving them an experience. And you need to embrace that. You made a movie. You fucking did it.
Yeah.
Like, they're enjoying it in the way that they're going to enjoy it. Maybe you need to lean into that. Mm-hmm. And that's when he started going into like, oh, I made a black comedy.
Yeah, I mean, roll with it. Like, if that's how people are taking it.
Yeah,
then,
like it was like Greg Sestero like talking him off like a cliff essentially. There's also a couple of moments where you feel that Tommy Wiseau his like a huge like it's alluded in the movie that there was some like deep depression coming out of him as well.
Yeah,
that like Greg Sestero probably like helped him out with. Mm-hmm. You know,
well, I mean they're still friends.
They are, and also I mean The Disaster Artist is also a great story about how two very unlikely people become very good friends and how they can strangely help each other out in their own ways.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Yeah. Well, would you recommend The Room?
Honestly, no.
Yeah, no. I mean, the only way, like, I tell people if they ask about it, I'm like, it's not really a thing to like casually sit there and watch. You need to be prepared for it, and it's more of an experience. It's like, this isn't a movie. If you're just a casual movie watcher, you don't want to watch this movie. No, it's if you are interested in like, if you're like a cinephile or you're interested in the history of cinema or anything like that,
or if there's an ounce of you that's curious,
I would say yes, and I would lend it to you because I own it.
I think if you're at all curious about what this character is and what his product was, then I'd say check it out. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've been trying to get me to watch this forever, and it wasn't until we actually made an episode that I was like, fine, I'll watch it. But it's like, if we hadn't have done it for this, I wouldn't have sat through it.
No, exactly.
I would have been like, I tried, I'm good.
And I've actually gotten I've had a couple of friends approach me about it, and they have watched it, and they're like, that is this, they were like, every person kind of has like the same reaction in a way. Is like, that is one of the strangest things I think I've ever watched.
Yeah,
like it's
definitely.
It's a weird thing to process, and it's a hard thing to watch a second time.
I don't think I could. I think I could only watch it a second time with someone that hasn't seen it, just to get their reaction while watching it. Because I was like, I had fun watching it, just going, what the fuck?
Right?
What are we doing?
Watching people's reaction to it is great.
Yeah,
that's never seen it, and especially people that like they've only heard about it, like because like you'd only heard about it. You knew like some of the inside jokes, like the oh hi doggy,
yeah, hi doggy.
Like the oh highs, there's oh highs everywhere.
Or you're tearing me apart, Lisa.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Yeah, like I knew some of that, but I didn't really get all of them. Like I didn't get the football thing.
Yep.
And like every fucking scene, there's a football for some reason.
Yeah. Or the I don't want to talk about it. Lisa's always saying that.
Yeah. Or I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. What do you think I should do?
Yeah. Right.
Like shit like
God,
that.
Yeah.
Like what? Oh, and then he had one. God, wait, did I write it down? I think I did. Wait, one second. I thought it was just funny because it was just the softcore porn parody. No,
that was your synopsis.
Self-stroking circle jerk. No, not that one.
Oh, Jesus.
And just in quotes, what are these characters doing here?
Yeah. Wait, I think it.
Oh, never mind. I just thought he says
yeah,
they're talking.
Lead up.
They're talking about like there's a bunch of conversations about like the mysteriousness of women.
Oh,
and there's this one where he goes, and I just was like, that they never say what they mean. Wait, I fucked it up. Like
try again.
Oh no, because they never mean what they say.
Yeah,
but he says they never say what they mean.
Yeah,
and it was just
he just says it weird.
He just says it really weird, yeah. And I think it was just kind of like.
Well, also if you think like all the women that are written in the script have like no like literally like Lisa's entire thing is built on like being a sexual object for Mark and Johnny.
Yeah, the one character that I was like, she's one of the more interesting ones is the best friend. That's talking to her at the party.
Yeah.
Being like, you're by doing this, you're going to destroy our friendship with everyone.
Yeah.
Like that whole scene. I was like, this is some of the best acting in this movie. And it's not even that great, but this is actually some of the most coherent written dialogue that is actually backed by emotion. in this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's like she's the only one that has made any kind of sense in the last half an hour of a sentence.
Yeah. Well, guys, if you like, after
you're a psychiatrist, help me out here. Why are you always trying to psychoanalyze? Like what?
Yeah, the script is filled with a lot of like say something strangely, take it back, and then put it, and then say it again, and then give it back. You know,
yeah. It's just...
If you guys, after listening to this, if you're interested in watching it, like I said, I'll lend it to you. You can. I think it's free to watch on YouTube as well somewhere. I just don't think that. I think that it's like the weird like zoom in thing. But yeah.
Don't pay for it
if unless you want to buy it. If you want to buy it, I don't know. I don't know where the money's going.
That's the weird thing. Yeah. What offshore account are you investing in?
But yeah. Check it out if we piqued your interest, I would recommend.
Yes, I would only recommend it if you even have an ounce of interest in it. Otherwise, you can let this one go because I don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't get the. I love crappy movies, but I couldn't.
Your love or like of crappy movies is a different type of idea of crappy movies. You know, like because like you don't like Trolls 2. You think that's?
I've never seen it.
Oh, man, maybe we got our next
crappy movie.
Because that's another one of those movies, like I said, that's very much like it's not so much a movie to review, that's a movie to experience.
Yeah, I'll check out that one. All right.
Well, thanks guys for listening.
Yeah. Hope everyone has a great weekend, and we will talk to you next week.
Well, yeah.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob. Tommy
and Jacob's.
Wait a second. What did I say? Did I say that right?
What?
Did I say my name is Tommy, or did I say Jacob?
Oh, hi, Mark.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
There we go.